So there's a lot of conversation around AI, specifically for coaching, and even for business coaching, for agency coaching. You probably have seen it. And I'm going to kind of squash some thoughts, give you some ideas, things to consider. Get my words out. Especially if you're considering in building a business coaching practice, you want flexibility, freedom. Maybe you've already started that journey, I don't know. The why behind it, likely, and after training, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of coaches, I can tell you that freedom and flexibility typically kind of resonate. Purpose absolutely does. We want to help other people. We want to help businesses to thrive. We'd be a part of kind of the fabric of just making that all happen in our own way. But we get distracted with all these different choices, and one of the latest ones is all around this idea about start an AI coaching journey or whatever. And look, I'm not bashing AI. We have it in our own system. It is a great tool. It can be extremely useful, but we have to understand that it's a tool to be very useful. What it's not going to do by itself is just solve all your problems, but that's the line you're being sold. We're being told on the internet, just start it and, making it appear simple and easy. And number one, we're very, very early. And I know that AI has been around for a little bit, but in reality, it's extremely early. And so one, just don't fall trap to this, this idea behind, if I just started by itself an AI coaching agency, it's going to be really simple. As a matter of fact, I've seen a number of people talking about, if you're not on it, then you're already too late. You're not too late. You're not too late. We're barely even just getting going. And so I just think it's responsible, number one, to understand it's a tool. So let me give you some things to think about, consider. I recall, close to 30 years ago, when websites were starting to just become a thing. And it's crazy to think about back then how bad they were. Now, we didn't know that they were that bad. At the time, we were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But here was the sentiment. I remember vividly multiple conversations with folks. Lots of thinking that, oh my God, we're going to retire. This is going to be great. Because think about that time period where, it was just traditional media at the time. Billboards, telephone book. Remember those things? Crazy, right? Radio, TV. And now all of a sudden, someone didn't just have to pick up the phone. They could go to this www. My kids, by the way, didn't know what that meant, World Wide Web. They had no idea, which is funny. But they could just go to this website and learn all this stuff about us. And we were going to just exponentially grow the business, get all these new customers. It was going to be fantastic and crazy. What happened? Well, sure, it's now become you've got to have a website. You needed that years ago. But by itself, did it actually change someone's life? And when we remove outliers, then, by itself, no, it didn't. Do you know anybody that just because of the website, they've retired early and extremely wealthy and rich? No. Why? Well, you got to have strategy, number one. Rarely does any one thing by itself become the causality. So let's bring it right back to AI. AI is a tool. We use it in our system that we call the Profit Acceleration System in multiple ways. It's a great tool. I can't tell you, neither can you or anybody else, what does 5 years look like, 10 years. And I know we see a lot of nonsense on the internet. But here's the other part that I cannot stress enough, that I don't care how advanced we become, it's not going to change. I don't believe that AI will even remotely come close to changing humanity. I'm going to give you some examples and reasons what I mean by that. So let's put it back to building a six-figure business coaching practice, right? There's a number of things that we have to do with AI or without AI. Three things that matter: know, like, and trust, right? So, I mean, you're going to have to engage with people in order to be able to understand that they have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. And we could look back at when websites were created. People needed to know you, they needed to like you, they needed to trust you. When Facebook pages first became available for businesses, here's the thing. As a coach, they needed to know you, they needed to like you, they needed to trust you. I'll never forget the first time that Groupon, that was probably one of the first times I got a little nervous about, like, what is this all going to mean to just ad revenue? Like, as a strategist, like, what was really going to happen? Because at the time, you know, the business that were on Groupon early, for like a 2 seconds, by the way, because then it turned it into a complete fiasco. But people still needed to know you, to like you, and to trust you. What's the point? That, again, AI is going to continue to change the game. But just starting an AI agency or whatever, it absolutely will be a disaster, because it gives this illusion and this impression that by itself AI is going to solve your problems, and it's not. We have to discover and to learn how to utilize the tool for the greater whole. Because relationships and value are the bedrock of building a solid, sustainable, long-lasting 6- and 7-figure business coaching practice. Period. And there's a chance, now I don't know, again, we'll find out in time. And maybe you've seen recently with graduation season with collegiate universities lately. Many of these professors, and like one of them I saw was a Google, an ex-executive, and a number of others. They gave commencement speeches, and they began to talk to these young people who were spent 4 or 5 years in learning and getting their degree, and these commencement addresses began to address AI and begin to talk about what's going to happen to the job market, whatever. And you can look this up. But what started happening? Boos. These young people, 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds, begin booing these speakers that were giving commencement addresses at their universities. They weren't applauding them. Why? And again, this sounds like I'm being negative to AI. I'm not. I'm trying to just start to shape this conversation about business coaching related to AI. Why did they boo? I'm going to go on a limb to go, well, because humanity knows better. Now, we're going to tolerate it, and I think that there's always a pendulum swing. We've seen this with every part of technology advancement over the last 30 years. And right now, we're in this fantasy world thinking that AI is going to do all this. I think it's going to probably come back. At where it lands, I don't know. There's already checks and balances beginning to happen. The broader and bigger point is this. If you desire to build a strong, long-lasting, profitable business coaching practice, and then you understand that tool or no tool, that it is about the relationship and the value that you bring to your prospects, to your leads, and certainly to your clients that matters more than anything. And by the way, I love gadgets. I love technology. I'm an early adopter. I'm the guy who has been the first one in line to buy stuff and pay way more than everybody else, mainly because I just enjoy it. It's a hobby of mine. I don't hunt, fish, and golf, so it's been a hobby of mine. But I can tell you that too many coaches, what they do is that they start to get, especially people who are looking on the outside looking in, they look at these different advancements and think it's a shortcut. There are no shortcuts. Now, efficiency and strategy that's a different ballgame. You certainly can cut to the front of the line, but not just by a shortcut. That's by being smart, that's by being efficient, and I'll tell you what it really is. The coach that's disciplined to learn and to apply, it's the whole idea behind 1% daily gains. It means I just get better, I get better, I get better. I practice, I invest time, energy, I practice, and then all of a sudden, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, different ball game. Not because of technology, because I decided to use tools to change the game. I'm not letting tools change my game. I'm going to use them in a way that brings value and brings strategy. But this notion, and I want to leave you with this notion that AI is just going to by itself. First of all, they've not settled the field yet. I mean, there's a new model every other week. You can't keep up with the changes if you really try to. And the models, Claude, Gronk, Chat, Manus, they update themselves every couple of weeks. It brings on confusion. It brings on overwhelm. Spend your time adding value, solving problems in a systematic approach. And I believe that when you do that, you're going to find that things are very, very different. And guess what? In a decade from now, we're going to be talking about the tools in a different way. Who knows what? Don't know. And sure, what we're doing now versus 10 years ago, crazy. And the same thing will happen 10 years from now. Doesn't matter. Value, know, like, and trust, serving people. That part, because we were wired that way, I'm wired that way, you're wired that way, and all of the potential clients that you're going to serve is wired that way too.